Do you get upset when an ex in your life is doing better? And not necessarily better than you, better generally, like, oh, so you do know how to behave as a human. That you're into human with me. And now all of a sudden you know how to do the right things right. Does that upset you, or do you go, I'm glad, and I don't want to say I don't want to say I'm glad that I was your learning chapter, but maybe I'm glad that you have grown and I was a part of your lessons. Does it bother you? Because the reason I'm asking that is because I think in my life, I would not be surprised if there are people in my past who are upset that I'm the person I am today.
I get that. Okay.
Yeah, because I know there were some parts in my past I was very problematic.
Yeah.
Especially because I manipulated the idea of Christian faith and the Bible and the Word and whatever to try be this perception that I thought I was supposed to put out, not knowing that this creates a toxic environment and a behavior of how people think they should behave.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you're actually sending people down the wrong road. And now that I'm this person, I do wonder, do they get upset knowing that, so now you know how to boyfriend or friend. Let's just start at knowing now you know how to be a good friend.
I'd hate you. Oh, I definitely hate you. And not because you're succeeding or what it is that you're doing well. It's just you had this within you. I did all I could to bring this out of you, and you refused. Not that you couldn't, you refused. In my mind, it's a refusal to be a good person.
You think so? You don't think the environment conditions that behavior? And this is the question for you guys as well. Do you get upset at the idea of an ex being a better person now after you, regardless of what that looks like? And I'm not just referring to being a better boyfriend or girlfriend or wife or husband, just being a better person in every facet. Not necessarily successful, just better.
Oh, it would hurt, man. Remember the topic that we had last week when we said you hurt and then you've got to see a person continuing on with their life. It's the same thing now. So I'm still injured. I'm walking, right? But every time there's a bit of, gray weather outside, there's a little bit of a wind, there's some rain coming, I feel it in my knee, right? Because of that old injury. So I can still walk fine, but there's a reminder. So when I see you, it doesn't, 2 and 2 doesn't equal 4 for me.
Why doesn't a part of you go, I'm glad that you're better for the next person? And that's why all these questions I'm asking in the beginning is because I'm trying to figure out, why are we the way we are?
Yeah.
Why can't we celebrate someone being better? Like, for everyone who I have dated, if you are aware of whatever shortcomings you had in our relationship, why aren't you celebrating the better version of you now for the next person? Or on top of that, also celebrating the person I am now. Yes, perhaps I'm on social media and maybe I have a bit more eyes than I had before.
Yeah.
But to some degree, you're not celebrating that, he's not the child I have to deal with. And I've heard a lot of women have this whole notion that you're preparing your partner for the next person.
Definitely.
Or the next person's eating your leftovers. I hear it, but it's like, that's a really toxic mindset to have. Why can't you just celebrate the person you're with now?
I don't think it's all the way toxic. I want to make a change in a person's life. Even if they're there with me forever. Somebody who doesn't celebrate their birthdays. I want that, okay, we're no longer together. And said that, look, somebody was in my life and they taught me the value of celebrating the day that I was born. Celebrating my achievements, etc., etc. So there's the connection is the fact that you changed me, right? Or you allowed me to see a different side of me, right? So there isn't a romantic connection anymore, any of that. But there is a memory that, okay, somebody came into my life and changed me. And I would hope that I actually want people to change me in some type of way. Not all the way, but I want there to be a difference in me once we go our separate ways. There has to be something that's changed, because otherwise, why are you here as a human being if we are not here to change the next person, influence them in some way, heal them, help them? Why are we here? Because if we have a problem with seeing somebody else do better, it's all about me. And this life that we live is not all about me. I have to. That's the only reason. You and I will go our separate ways in however many years to come. And what do I say about you? What do I have to show of our relationship? There has to be something. So people that don't want to see somebody do better, there's a bit of a problem there.
Tembela, how do you feel about this conversation?
Look, for me, right, I will always celebrate a person, even if they've moved on to greener pastures or wherever they are. If they're doing well, I mean, it means like at least, you know, you're doing something better with your life. You've improved as a person. You've grown as a person. And hopefully, you can succeed. Yeah. But like, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't think men struggle with that as much as women, because I in my head, and I would like to speak under correction. I think there's a few, and I have to say it like this. I think there's a few exes that are upset at the person I am now, versus how I was with them. And it's like, okay, but why do you not want to celebrate that? You're a big part of my life that I can acknowledge and go, I had good times with you, or whatever. But I'm healthier. I'm mentally, I'm emotionally, I'm ready for the person I am committed to or gonna commit to, whatever the scenario is. But like, why does it bother you that you were part of a chapter and you weren't part of the final book?
But okay, here's the thing, right? If we look at it, statistically, we are more likely to be the one that hurt the people. Yes. So I don't have a problem with seeing my exes being the best versions of themselves, because chances are they didn't hurt me as much as I've hurt my other exes. You get me? So with them, their experience would be like, that nigga hurt me, so no need for him to be doing well in life. Where else I can be like, I left you, so at least I know now, at least you're able to bounce back, so that guilty conscience is all. Not that I've done that, though.
It's a bit too late now. The depth you went into there, sir. Sorry, it's a bit too late. I worry about the way I cut people off. Not in the, it's a new year, let me know if we should cut each other off. It's not that thing. It's like, once the relationship is done, I'm done. You know, I'll still sit with you. For example, the one and only ex that I have, right? I still sit and I'm like, bro, why are you acting like this? You can't treat whoever's in your life right now in the way that you're treating her, you know? So we can have those conversations, because there's nothing within me that is still holding on to the hope that you and I can still be together. That's the only time in my mind that I think I'd have a problem with your progress, or I'd have a problem with the person that you've developed into, if I'm hoping that something can come of this. If I know that I don't want, not even that there isn't a chance, I don't want anything further to happen between this person, myself and this person, then it's easy for me to wish you well in life. So, guys, it's freeing, man. It's freeing just to say, it happened, there was good, there was bad, but there was good. And the same with my ex. I think he looks at me, and he's even said it to me a couple of times, and he said it definitely to my kids, that this person, if she was there, and I'm like, you're getting it, but you're not getting the full story. So when you do something that is out of pocket, or you just irritate me in some sort of way, instead of fighting with you, I'm just like, you know what, bruh? My house, that's the door. Find your way out. He would have wanted that sort of no emotion, no whatever. But for me, it's, if you're in my life, I'm going to fight for what I believe we have, right? And the minute I'm like, okay, cool, you know that there's a problem.
Yeah.
So he definitely mourns the person that he lost and could have been, could have been, but life goes on, man.
Which now beckons me to ask, would you take sexual advice from your ex? In the sense that they would give you tips on how to be great in your next sex expedition with your current or with the future. Like, if you were to ask them, what do you want me to do less or more?
It depends if I've had better. If I've had better now, sorry, sir, but you can't tell me anything. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, okay,
if you
cut out the if you had better, just out of curiosity, would you want to know what you could do better from your ex?
You're watching before you weekend. You're watching before you weekend. You're watching before you weekend. Hey, you're watching before you weekend.
We'll talk about the week before it ends. Would you want to know what you could do better sex-wise from an ex?
Are you open to hearing that? Because there's being open to hearing it and then just receiving J.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So would you be...
Tembela, would you want to know what you could do better?
So here's the thing with my perspective on sex, right? If I'm having sex, I'm not just having sex for me. I'm reacting to what your body says to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm taking advice from a person, it's a person that I'm continuing to have sex with because that's the person, you know, that I'm trying to satisfy. But if you're my ex and you're saying, oh no, you know, like you spend too much time on foreplay. Okay, cool. Maybe that's what I thought you liked. Or this is what, you know, I thought
you won't take that note and use that in the next relationship?
I mean,
or have a discussion, maybe.
Maybe I could have it as a discussion, but also it's like the other person, I'd maybe ask them what is it that they want. You know, I'll take it into consideration.
Yeah.
Definitely would, but it's not something that I would be just like seeking and, you know, going with as a form of like truth, you know.
I get you.
A part of my ego doesn't know if I want to hear what I could do better. Because I think...
Is that not a man thing?
Yes, because I think in a lot of men's heads, we think we kind of deliver.
Yeah, you guys, you think.
Until you hear like a female comedian go, you guys think you're good at this.
Okay, so see, this is where now it would be like if two of my exes were to get together and discuss and compare notes, and you find that there's a common thing that they say this person is lacking, then I would be like, cool. You see, then I see.
Would you be comfortable with two exes coming together to just have a conference?
I would actually like to see that happen. I'd actually like to see that happen.
Am Studios coming to you soon. Before you weekend extra exclusives. Featuring Tembela and his exes.
How? No, yeah, men need to take it down a notch. You definitely need to take it down a notch. My issue is that you don't hear in the moment. Not in the moment. We chilling. It's a random Saturday, and we're just talking about sex. You know, how to make it better. What, you know, all of that stuff. Not a lot of men are open to hearing what it is that they can do better.
I agree.
Yeah. So for women, because we stress about it. I know that I would stress about it. I'm in the moment, but at the same time, I'm thinking, is he happy? Is it like, maybe I should do this more? Maybe I shouldn't do this, you know, pull back, let loose, all of that kind of stuff. A man doesn't care. I'm here. End goal. That's all I'm seeing. I just want to be, you know, there. You do obviously get a few men that care about the woman's pleasure as well. But by and large, it's your orgasm, and that's it. So depending on how a man approaches a woman, we are more open to hearing what we can do better than what I think a man...
Okay, but the premise is, can you handle an ex telling you what you need to do better?
I can, and I know what your question was, but that's why I brought in you can't tell me what to do better here, it's orgasm all the time. All the time.
Okay. So
And nothing there.
Can I ask a
Yeah.
question? Do women, right?
Yeah.
I know, like, do women actually try and think, like, am I bad at sex?
Yeah.
Do they ever have to ask themselves
Yeah.
that question? Is it because of, like, performance, or is it because of, like, my body is this, is won't like my body? Which one is it? Because I've actually never gotten to ask that question.
Oh, gotten to ask, you just haven't been privy to those conversations. We definitely, and this is now obviously with my circle of friends, right? We are worried about what we can't control. So I can't control what is on the inside of me, right? Whereas you can control a stroke, you can learn how to better your stroke. Once you have entered, there's not much I can do about it. Okay, it is what it is. It's just there. You gotta, I can try and move in a certain way. I'm worried about how it feels to you. I'm worried. So I'm worried about my body on the outside. If it's what you see is pleasurable, I'm worried about what you feel is good for you. I'm worried about what society is saying. So am I there on top just it's just shoulders and nothing else, all of those things worry us. And the problem is also with women, we don't go to men to the man for that conversation. We come to our girlfriends. It's like, girls, I want to know how to. That's why you can be on YouTube and you can do a whole woman on top kind of series and you will get views because we are trying to learn, right? You're not going to see that from men. Men just think that they are good. Women are open to learning, but they won't go to the source of, that conversation and say, hey, look, I feel a certain way about my body. How do you feel? Honestly speaking. And I've had that conversation, and it's interesting to hear what people say, what men say, It's almost a singular type of response. Whereas I think with women, it would be different for men. But for me, if you are 35 and above and your strokes are still swag, then I don't know, man, go and join a freaking monk. What? What's the point of you being here?
Interesting. Oh, okay.
How do you add like a notch to your bedpost?
To my bed.
Yeah, so
Rephrase?
the bodies that you have, right? Kind of what's another way of putting it?
Yes, please rephrase it because I am concerned with what you just said.
The amount of people that you have had sex with.
Mm-hmm.
Do you count somebody if it was like really bad?
Oh, interesting. You mean for like as a man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think about the people who I didn't enjoy it with.
So that doesn't count, right?
Yeah, to some degree, no.
And we're not talking about spiritually, guys. Let's not make it like too deep. But if you didn't enjoy it, I'm not counting it. You don't exist.
The problem with that is, it sounds like people go, "Oh, how have they said it? Have they said it?" Women have said this.
Mm-hmm.
If I dated you in high school, it doesn't count.
Sexually, if there was a sexual interaction.
Just to dating, but now I'm thinking with this, what doesn't count if we've been with each other like that? And I feel like
if it was bad, it doesn't count. In my eyes, I'm so sorry. I don't know.
Really?
It does not count.
Even if there's penetration and whatnot, doesn't count.
I just said it's not a spiritual thing. If we're talking spiritually, every single thing
you're
counts.
your priority is essentially chemistry. If the chemistry didn't balance, whatever's about to happen doesn't matter.
You do realize that you don't have to have like great chemistry in order for it to be a great round or
I
session.
disagree. I think they correlate.
You can be like, I'm not really feeling this person. Do you know how many people will say, hey, you up, to somebody that they don't feel in any way, and then they'll go to that person's house. Yes, even especially
Men teach
men.
me, but I don't.
Especially men. Men are not like, I'm not feeling this girl, but hey man, look, I just needed to get one off and I went through. Men will do that in a heartbeat, and they won't, think anything of it tomorrow morning.
We need to have a men's conference here because that's weird.
But yo, Ellen, like, to say that, like, if it's bad, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Look, Lewis Hamilton got here because every race mattered.
Yeah.
That's why we have him as a legend. So please,
let me say this to you. It's a great one, but it's a horrible for this conversation. Okay, you're not helping my point. For people that, okay, this is parallel to the conversation that we're having. You're having a conversation before you guys engage. So, what do you like? What's your favorite position? What don't you feel comfortable doing, right? And this person will say, I don't know, I can't think of any positions, but let's just say I don't like a doggy, right? A man is saying, I don't like doggy position. And you're thinking, oh, okay, cool. He doesn't elaborate as to why he doesn't like it. He just says, I don't like it. And then you experience this person, missionary, and it's swag. What had happened was, you haven't mastered your stroke. You are pushing 35, going to 40, or I don't know, you're coming towards 35. And you haven't mastered your stroke. That is the reason. You should rather say to me, look, I have a challenge in terms of size and girth. Length and girth. So therefore, certain positions are a challenge to me. If you enjoy it, let's just see. I'd rather than to have like an absolutely swag session, because you said, hey, you're going to be happy tonight, and absolutely nothing. If you can't get, you're allowed to say, I don't like, or I prefer XYZ. But you can't get the most basic one. Clearly, the only reason why you don't like it is because you can't reach certain things, right? So for me, that doesn't count. It was a bad session. I'm never going to see you again. And yeah, you should, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Seriously.
Crazy. Okay. Now we know. But for those of you at home, please let us know how you feel about that. Chat, should we be mad at people who are doing better in life because they are done with us and on to the next thing? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Before You Weekend. As you can notice, we did not greet you guys in the Friday before. Why? Because the conversations were hot, and we are sorry for that, because we know you guys like being welcomed in the next in our chats. Yeah. But so yeah, here we are. There's a lot going on. The year is about to end. The world is on fire. Elon Musk thinks he's Elon Musk, and yeah, there's things we need to discuss. So, going to the first topic on my docket.
Yeah.
HIV has a prevention.
Yes.
Via pills and injection. People don't know how to feel about the fact that there is now a cure.
What do you mean they don't know how to feel about it?
Because if you consider tech,
the
medical space, the intelligence that Africans have, there's no way this should have been made 20, 30 years ago. And I'm also saying this to go, when I was in grade 9, which was 2005, I remember there was a nerd in my class, in the grade. Yeah. He said something to the teacher. He created so I remember the day. He was just on his notes. Yeah. Just scribbling. It looked like he was just scribbling and not listening to the teacher.
Yeah.
I was sitting right behind him, sitting right in front of him, and I don't know why I kept looking back, but it looked like he just it looks like he's just writing stuff down.
Yeah.
They're talking about chemical balances and whatever else,
Yeah.
whatever that math is called. Sorry guys, it's
Me and Matt's.
yeah. So he tells the teacher, look at this calculation
Yeah.
and look at my theory. This is what he said. He's a black kid from Soshanguve.
Yeah.
By the way, in a school in Centurion, the birthplace of apartheid. So you can understand the teachers are like
Yeah.
black.
VCA
Yeah.
But me take cake.
He
Yeah.
writes this whole thing down and he says, if you did these chemicals like ABC and ran the process like DEF,
Yeah.
would you not resolve the HIV/AIDS solution? I remember the solution. I remember the scenario so vividly. The teacher looks at the calculation, looks at everything's like, this makes sense. And she then ignored it afterwards. Like, yeah, but Sizwe, come on, man. We have to whatever Afrikaans accents do.
So wrong. But
It upsets me that in that time, there was a kid in my generation who said, there's something in the calculation. If you're saying this is what HIV looks like, this is what the cure looks like. And I said, this is how you deal with the cure.
yeah.
And you're so overwhelmed by a grade 9 coming up with something that looks like we could trial this. Or send this to someone who has more information or knowledge. She let it go. And it kind of frustrates me because I'm looking at this like, oh, now we finally have a solution. But what if that was a solution in 2005?
Was there already?
It's 2024. What if someone had a theory that could be tested, but just because IQ was above that of a grade 9 at the time, it wasn't worth checking out or sending to more qualified people to go, does this check out?
It's possible that certain things, certain concepts are just too big for you. You can see it, right? But now you're thinking, what does this mean? I don't think you can conceive what you're seeing in front of you, right? Number one, it makes sense in terms of the science. But then also it's a child, and then it's a black child. So Okay, Sipho.
So you know what to do.
Okay, so yeah. This is above your pay grade, my boy. This means freedom for a community, right? This means freedom for a race. This means recognition even. And maybe she even looked and it's like, okay, I don't get it in its totality, but I get it. And it looks like it makes sense. What does that say about me? Right? I can't have that.
Should I not say that you did a good job? Like he understands chemistry?
No.
Because at this point now we have to take HIV prevention pills.
Yeah.
And injections. Which is maybe good for now, but it's like...
Yeah. In the long run.
Also, from what I remember in that moment, his thing wasn't pills or injections. It was air, polluting in the air with the cure.
Okay.
And it was like, okay, so people have to be in a certain vicinity. We need a certain amount of helicopters or whatever things that distribute this kind of gas.
Yeah.
For a period of 2 hours or whatever. Like, it was weird for grade 9 to think about things that detailed.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you would do it. And it threw the teacher off completely. Like, wait.
Exactly.
What if the cure is through air?
Look at how people carried on with corona.
Yeah.
And the vaccine.
Yeah.
And the prevention of spreading it. We just couldn't. And also the what do they call it? The whole, there was a word, I think it starts with a C or something like that, about 5G. There was conspiracy. There was a conspiracy that about the virus itself, right? So imagine then you being the teacher, hearing what this child is saying. You've got to be open to receiving that. You need to have some sort of understanding. And if you don't have any understanding, you need to be willing to see outside of yourself. I don't have the virus, so it doesn't really matter to me. But if I had the virus, then I would know what my challenges are. All of that stuff. I'd be more receptive to hearing you out, right? So I don't know. It's just we. What is that pyramid called? That's something hierarchy. It's not Maslow's. Maslow. Yes.
Of needs.
It just depends where you are on that. You're just like, listen, I'm here to collect my paycheck. It was the only thing that I could go and study after school. Yes, I may be good at it. I don't really care if you guys turn out to be scientists and whatever, and the world changes. I don't care.
So you don't see yourself taking the now said solution? Because essentially they're saying you can take these pills before you're about to have an engagement.
Yeah.
Also after.
Yeah. I know that there are a lot of people doing that.
I can see
only because they intend on being promiscuous.
Sorry, and by the way, this episode is recorded on the 16th of October, so there probably might be new information about this chat. So bear with us. Put in the comments. Send the updates. Send the links. People are taking the pills and the medication, whatever else, and there's positive results. It seems like it's working.
Yeah.
That there's a reduction in HIV contractions.
Yeah. So these are negative people.
Yeah, they're coming out and saying,
So it's a preventative measure.
Yeah, which is like, how did you test it? But we're going to talk about that another time.
Yeah.
Wait, but isn't the PrEP like something
PrEP,
already like exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this a totally different thing? I'm thinking that it's PrEP that.
No, it's out. There was a whole News 24 even spoke about this. Like they interviewed people.
So this isn't PrEP where I take it.
Like PrEP is an everyday pill as well.
I don't know about every day, but like you can take it beforehand. The conversation I'm stumbling on is the fact that it seems like a certain group of people get access to these right now. And then figured out how do you distribute this across Africa. And I also, when I say that, it's the frustrating thing is the Americas and Europe will go, yeah, Africa needs this. But like you guys brought it here. It's an invented virus. What do you mean we need this? You could have pulled this out before it even started. So it's.
But
I
think the one that you're referring to is because I read somewhere on the news. It says like it's more of a after every 6 months you need to like refill. You know, you need to the pills that you're talking about, the pills or injection, is that like every 6 months you just need to go and get like it's like a vaccine.
So you take it once every 6 months.
Once every 6 months, and
as a preventative.
Yes.
Not as a cure.
I think it's not as a cure. No, because if it was a cure, I think it would be distributed amongst people that already are.
Yeah, I read said it also works afterwards.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, and I think my only concern with saying that is how people read it. Because there will be idiots out there who go, so we can't have it raw all the time.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, guys, spoon is a thing, hey?
Give everyone raw. What?
But here's the thing, that's what it was going to be my question. What does this mean? I'm going to say contextualize it based on, because I'm a South African.
Yeah.
What does this mean for South Africans? Because
yeah.
you know the levels
we are taking work
of
days
everything.
Off. We are taking a day off work.
The marketing head goes, guys, by the way, you can take this before and after and
We are lining out. We are lining up outside.
We're not buying condoms anymore. Now, Jurex is going to complain. Go, guys, what's happening in South Africa? We know you guys like sex, but... Sorry.
South Africa is... I'm just thinking of like the girls group. We are very responsible, right? And we will keep you accountable. But the amount of times... girls will say, guys, I've had an oopsie and it's a bit too late, and I don't know if we thinking pregnancy. If you had an oopsie, like an oopsie is, and I'm not talking about the condom burst or whatever, you just decided that this is nice. Let's forego that small nyana thing and let's continue. And then tomorrow, there it is, clarity. It hits you and you're like, damn, I don't know you.
You let loose.
I don't. That's also another thing. We are so comfortable with, I've met you for the first time today, but you look like you know how to do the things. Therefore, I wanna, just like that, and then schoon.
And it's your gender saying things that they shouldn't be saying in the heat of things.
Oh, bruh.
Yeah.
Because you're not. There's no the point of no return there.
Good, like yeah.
But also, here's my thing in terms of
Come in me.
like
Stop it.
the education side of sex in SA.
Yeah.
You've always been, being taught that sex is bad because you're going to get HIV or you're going to get AIDS. Sex is bad because you're going to get pregnant or whatever the case is. But now if I know as a young man that there are morning after pills, now there's this pill that is a preventative method for HIV. What is stopping me from, there's nothing scary anymore. You get me? And that's how we've been taught.
Yeah.
Even LO. That's why we abstained from having sex so long because it was like, dog, have you seen those pictures? You know what I'm saying? So now if I know that this is happening, this miracle, which is good, by the way, it will change what we think about sex or how we think about sex, how the kids think about sex.
Yeah.
You know that there are men that have, okay, not just men, but I know it's mostly men. I've heard of mostly men that have tests on hand. So it's like, let's just quickly do a test. You clean, I'm clean. And we know that you've got to wait, there's a window period. But he's got a test in his house. And heat of the moment kind of thing. You test, it's clean, sharp. Let's go. So can you, now with what you're saying, once that has become readily available and I can just quickly go to the store and get it, I'm going to be like, okay, here's one for me and here's one for you. Let's take it and then we're fine. And then we'll take one tomorrow afterwards.
Yeah.
And then we're fine. Are we ready to talk about the amount of times that people forego having protection and just like, and then let's just do it?
I would like to know statistically what that looks like, but I would like to believe women go, no, hey, you don't come in here without protection.
No.
Is it scarier than what men would like to believe?
Trust me, no.
We're not saying no.
I think it's also because we would like women to go, no, hey, yay, put it on first.
Okay.
In my head, I would have, if I was like a frivolous hoe, you telling me you want protection on first tells me, oh, you do trust the maturity we have between us, that there is a lot of sex happening between us, but we have to protect each other. If you were saying, no, I just put it in, I pull out. I don't even put in.
Yeah, you should, because you're questioning, right?
Yeah.
But then,
the fact that I was going to this, I'm sorry, guys, but anyway.
We've been talking for a while. We are in a relationship, right? And now we've decided that we want to take this a step further and we want to engage in sex. And I say, we're in the moment. And I'm like, hey, stop. Where's the protection? And she's like, no. You've got to make you. And if you do like try and push and say, hey, no, look. You're like, no, let's just carry on. Do you realize that there's a lot of men that don't take that no for no? The first time they hear it, they don't take that no. You have to listen, stop. I'm very clear about this. But then now I'm thinking, he's here already. Quick maths, right? I'm in court. How do I say that I said no and feel safe with the police, with the court, the justice system, right? The fact that I was ready to. And at that point, I said, hey, no, look, protection. And he said no. And he forced himself on me. I don't want that stress. I don't like, they're not going to believe me because I was there, legs open. I was there, already ready. So you just allow it to carry on, because the amount of times you say, no, look, because this actually should be, as grown-ups, you should have this conversation beforehand. So let's see, where's the protection? We're not just talking babies here. Babies can be, that's on me. You know, I can go to a clinic, I can make sure that I'm sorted before you even came into the picture. Mm-hmm. But now we're talking in the moment. Do I have protection? Do you have protection? Before things get steamy. Usually it's ampur, it is entrance. And then I'm like, hey, where's that person's thinking, man, I've got to start all over. You know that you're about to burst anyway. And he pushes his way, thinking that, we're in a relationship, it's cool, it's whatever, you know. And and then the girl's just like, I really didn't want to have it without. Yeah. That's also another thing.
That's hectic. My word.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys. Sex before marriage is a what? Sin.
Yeah, but that also, like, now it's like, HIV prevention, is it a help, or is it a aid to our toxic behavior as human beings?
Definitely an aid.
Whew.
We don't see it as a help.
Lives at the end of the day.
It's a tricky thing to say it like that.
No. Save lives, that's all.
Bottom line, we are saving lives. It's like,
exactly.
how you guys are using it, taking it, the reasons therefore.
Yeah.
But we're saving a life.
Now I'm seeing a what go. Yeah, you were supposed to die, ne? Who saved you?
It was us.
Labonet.
Oh, wow.
I'm playing. Sorry, this is the 2-week streak you were hoping for is not going to become 3 weeks. It's broken now.
It's broken now. So sad.
Yeah, knowing that we
did well.
Yeah, we did. Knowing that we're reaching the end of our time, I wanted to talk about the person who jumped, the employee who worked for Standard Bank.
Yeah.
And committed suicide by jumping off of the Standard Bank building.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
So there was an employee who committed suicide by jumping off of the building. Of course, committed suicide, passed away.
Yeah.
And of course, Twitter's going crazy, or X is going crazy, saying, well, just know that Standard Bank's not going to mourn. Your job post is out already. Yeah. And I wonder how much of a conversation there needs to be, and how much of a reminder there needs to be that you are just a puzzle piece, or a catalyst to get someone to get a company to where they need to be.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous when you marry who you are to the organization that chooses to hire you.
Yeah.
It's sad. I don't know who the person is or whatever, but it's sad when we do this as human beings. We marry who we are to an organization we never created. We give it the best of our time, the best of our lives, our ideas, and then when it's too late, you off of the building. And I do wonder, what were the initial signs? When did you realize that he's reaching his ends?
Guys, an open door policy is never an open door policy.
Yeah.
Anytime, come talk to me. Whatever you said in confidence is going to come out.
Yeah.
It will be used against you. Just like you automatically say please and thank you because it was drilled into you as a child, not because you are grateful or because you are asking, for something. It's drilled into you. So you say please, you say thank you. So I will say, TK, so how's the family? How's the podcast going? You happy? You good? I'm ticking off. I've got an agenda here, and I need to get to that. But in order, I've got to pave the way. Here's the intercession that I'm getting to, that I've got to get past in order to get to the meat of this agenda, right? So he could have. We aren't sure if it was employee to employee kind of thing. If it was like Standard Bank as the employer, but he could have spoken to somebody, right? To say that, hey, look, I've had an issue here. I came to you. It was dealt with poorly. That person is even a bigger bully right now than they were before. And you're like, you're a grown man. Look, we did what we could. We intervened, and, well, you guys need to go and sort it out. Yeah. And that was their option. Or it was directly with the company itself. And the company's like, oh my gosh, what can we do better going forward? And they initiate something that they assume to work. It's not a raw, okay, guys, tell us what it is that we can do, and let's see how we can genuinely fix this thing. It's just we're ticking off boxes all the time.
I get that. It's I'm trying to figure out, who do I advocate for in this circumstance?
Yeah.
Because it's so sad to hear that there's an individual who said it's okay to do this, and at the same time to be a financial tycoon somewhat.
Yeah.
Like, your mind is wired to go, how do I grow this? And how do I not pay people the way they should be paid? It's not going to be said like that, but it's like, how do I get the most, efficient?
Yeah.
Economic. We'll use words like that. They use words like that to flirt with the result and not flirt with the consequence of losing the people who get it there. That's a tricky thing, and I think it's a great topic to have during this Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yeah.
But it's like, we have to always play devil's advocate in every story we read and learn and experience. That from one person's view, they're at their wit's end.
Yeah.
In another person's view, it was never my vision to make you a partner. I needed your skill for a period.
Yeah.
I used the skill. Thank you for the skill.
Yeah.
On to the next skill.
When last have you honestly answered that question to any employer? How are you, TK? Honestly answered it.
You mean from an employer to me?
Yeah.
I've never answered that question honestly. I'm always okay, because you don't measure me by my well-being. You measure me by my results.
Yeah.
And I think that's the work field we all find ourselves in. You're measured by what you can deliver.
Yeah.
Not how optimistic you are about the day or the week or the month. It's great, but and it creates a great illusion if you're optimistic, because they're gonna go, oh, he's very excited, or she's very excited, she's gonna deliver, which means you're not gonna be fired for the rest of the year, because they just see, oh, this person's very excited to do what we told them to do.
Can I say something also with that notion? I read somewhere in an article, just forgot what it was, that often happy employees, or employees that are always fine and never disgruntled at work, don't actually go up their careers. They don't actually go up the career ladder, because you are seen as just fine. Everything is fine. There's nothing that bothers you. So if most cases employers will rather look at those that are not fine, those that are not okay, like, what makes you not okay? What is it that I can do? If you say, look, I'm not okay because the salary that I'm getting here is peanuts, I'm actually going to move to somewhere else. So they do something to make sure that you are here. But if you're always fine, you are always content, you are always seen as that happy-go-lucky guy, you're not actually, probable to succeed in your career. You can't go up.
That's interesting.
So in most cases, employers are looking for the fine guy, the guy that is always fine, so that you can keep doing your work and being fine in that same level. And we don't actually think about that and what it does to our mental health, because if I'm always fine all the way, outside of the office, maybe I'm going nuts because shit. So
that also brings into question as to why someone could go from being, I forgot who it was, the new CEO of Nike. If you look at his LinkedIn, every 2-3 years he changed positions, but he started at the bottom of Nike.
Yeah.
Now he's a CEO. It's very easy to be committed to a company for 14 years if your job keeps changing.
Yeah.
Versus you're still at the same place saying, guys, you're hiring people who don't know the DNA. I was in the DNA. I want to show you how I can mold the DNA. And that's what makes this new CEO change brilliant. And I've never been at that place of being recommended for any organization CEO, but I would love to be in the room to hear what's the thinking process on both ends, the prospect as well as the organization. How do you marry that? And a part of me is disappointed in South African companies because South African companies don't really create rooms for growth.
Yeah.
Or avenues to go. I put you here. I'm trying to get you here. Your job's to replace me in the next 2-3 years, because everyone's trying to scrap for bucks, and that mentality needs to change. Because if you're at a higher place of managing people where you're not doing the actual work, which means you have at least 20 hours in the work week to work on whatever your ideals or your dreams are, why are you still here? What's your plan to make sure I need to make sure this person is as good as me or better than me? I know personally for me, I always want to make people around me better than me. Because I know if you're there, I don't have to second guess stuff. Yeah, I can critique and you'll take the critique. Yeah, go for it.
No, it's exactly.
Oh, sure.
Talking way too much.
I said go for it, but like, yeah, I just never understood this small mentality we have as Africans and as people in this workforce, that there's always someone small enough or with a small mentality enough to go, no, I can't have you be better than me. I'm supposed to be better than you.
Those people are also fed. Sorry, those people are also fed by, I'm so grateful to have this thing. I don't want to cause any waves. I don't want to. So I'm fine. I'm just happy to be here. And it doesn't matter where you fall, because you know that there are graduates that are unemployed. You know, there are people with a wealth of experience that perhaps were retrenched and whatever and can't find another job. So whatever it is that they get, they're just like, it can be burning on the inside, right? So that's why they go home frustrated. Their personal lives are in shatters, because at work, there's the frustration that they're bringing home, right? But I'm so grateful to just have this. I'm just going to hold on as long as I can. If the possibility or the opportunity comes around that I can do better, then I'll move up. But I just want to keep here. Also because I came from a place of toxicity, of abuse, that for me, behaving and just keeping my mouth shut is the best thing that I can do, because I've seen what stretching myself looks like. I've seen what speaking up and giving ideas and being productive in a way that threatens other people looks like. So I'm fine. Everything's good. Thank you, sir.
Oof, what a painful life to live. But we have reached the top of the lunch break hour.
Yes, sir.
Ellen, take us home.
It's been a good one, guys. It's really, really been a good one. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us. We'd really love to hear from you. So let us know in the comments, what do you feel about the topics that we've discussed? Like, share, subscribe, and have these conversations with your mates that aren't aware of Before You Weekend, and let's hear of what those conversations amongst your peers looks like. That's it from us. This is Before You Weekend, where we talk about the week before it ends. See you next week. Bye.
You're watching Before You Weekend.